There we go. Good enough.
Yeah.
See? Did gangsters really talk like that back in the day? See? Chip of the old block, eh?
I'm pretty sure it's an exaggeration, but yeah.
I'll unload a Tommy gun on you. Put the whole spindle in you.
I'll introduce you to Tommy, eh? You're gonna follow around with him.
Did they really do that? I bet you they didn't. I bet you that's fake as fuck.
And then watch, like, hundreds of years in the future, they're gonna be asking if, like, street thugs act like that. What's up? What's up? They're gonna be like, nah, they didn't really sound like that. Then again, they're probably not gonna even talk like that either.
How could you exaggerate gangsters today if you were looking back? Say,
throw up your hands like Naruto. Throwing up your gang signs and shit.
I feel like it would get like miscarried over, you know. People would get it confused with TikTok dances. Like in 100 years from now, like, yeah, they were doing that. Like, if you wanted to rep your set, you had to do this. Just like, no, that's inaccurate. But they still like do it anyway. You know how like sometimes just we say dumb shit and it's not true.
I'm just afraid of how we're gonna be interpreted in the future.
Dude, it's gonna be awful. Dude, we're going through like a complete.
What if cavemen were actually way more sophisticated and more, you know, more open, discussed individuals than we give them credit for, because they never written this shit down. They actually like sat down and they're all like, oh. The other one was like, oh. And the other one's like, I get you. Like, the shit around here is not good. And then they start talking about shit. But then they get up and they go sharpen their sticks and stones and fight something, and then leave that, and that's all what we know. When instead they were probably like, you know, hey, what's wrong, buddy?
What's wrong? Hey.
Well, we lost someone in the last hunt, and I'm really sad. It's like, hey, you can talk about your feelings. Like, this is how we're going to get farther.
Hey, man.
If we all open up and learn how to discuss openly with each other, this is how we're going to get forward as a species.
Do you need food? Dude, listen. Hey, don't worry about it. It's on me. Don't worry about it. I got you, man. You can stay at my place. You can stay at my teepee.
Teepee? Damn, this person's living in the... I was saying like a caveman. Like
caveman. Oh, okay.
I guess that's what happens when you learn to discuss better. You'll start advancing more.
Did they use napkins back in the day?
No. What the hell? Napkins? What the fuck? Maybe they brush their hands against a bush or like their hide.
Did they just like wipe it on their crotch and shit?
Why on their crotch?
I don't know. I just feel like that would be like the zone where they just like...
Because there's a loincloth that's in your mind right there?
Did they even wear loincloths? Loincloths can't even last that long. So why would we even think that they wore loincloths? Unless it was located under...
Probably just because it was the easiest thing to make with nothing. Like, just to think, you have nothing. You can't just pull on some shorts or jeans. Nothing. What are you going to do? I'm asking you, what are you going to do? You're just going to do this. And just lay down and wait for fate.
I'll just be fucking cold.
Someone somewhere was like, hey, I made this dinky, rinkety little thing that covers my junk. And they'd be like, it's going to last for like 3 days. And be like, well, those 3 days are going to last way better for me than it is for you when we're like, you know,
what did they do?
Walking through this fucking jungle.
Have you ever seen... Okay, remember in Ice Age, they had those cave people? They were walking around, they were wearing stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who made that shit?
Them. That's all just animals that they killed. Yeah,
that's right, animal pelts.
You stabbed an animal and ate it, and whatever you didn't eat, you cut it and leave it into the sun to get suntanned to the point that it's just dry, crispy leather, and then you wear it.
Yummy. That sounds delicious as fuck.
It's funny how like we've grown to be such a wasteful species when our origins were like we literally used everything even to the bone, you know, like nothing went to waste. But I imagine there's probably some stuff, like, again, there's probably some stuff we don't know that they probably like chopped down a whole fruit tree just so a tribe can get a week's worth of fruit, and then they walked off.
Who knows?
That could be.
What if they were insanely gay as fuck?
Well, I imagine,
what if they were so fucking gay? Like, they were just gay all the time, and then that's why religion popped up and was like, hey, we gotta cool this.
Well, I imagine, like,
I bet
gay has been around for. I don't think gay evolved late. Like, you know what I mean? That's not like. It's not like we all became humans, and then 1,000 years later, a guy or a girl was like,
it's like, dude, you know what we can do?
No, I could change this whole game right now. Like, it's not like it was invented.
Gay was invented in a time and place.
I'm pretty sure there was Australopithecus fucking each other that were the same,
hold on,
Cro-Magnons.
Let me look that up. What's the origin of gay? Just who was the first gay person
kind of
in history?
You
List
mean
of
renowned?
LGBT firsts by year.
I guess you mean like famous people at this point then.
Oh, it's just saying like 1800s and shit. No, who's the oldest gay man? Who was the first gay person in history? About 200,000 years ago, when human beings similar to you and I first evolved, they have always been gay people throughout human history. For that matter, there have always been trans and non-cis, non-hetero people. They just didn't tend to get mentioned. I don't even get this.
I don't know what answer you're looking for.
Dude, I just want to know, like, how long have we been gay?
What kind of like I just said, that shit wasn't invented. That's like saying, how long have we been white or black, or, you know, like, it's been for hundreds of thousands since the beginning of that
You
subspecies.
think so? I think we had.
You really think that a person stood there and said, you know what, I can show all of you I could find a partner, and they were like, no woman loves you, and he said, not a woman, and everyone gasped?
So it's very hard. It would be very hard to pinpoint the first person to ever do it, but who is the first to just be like,
the first famous,
like,
it doesn't matter. I'm pretty
Did
sure
you
there
hear
was
it?
plenty. I'm pretty sure there was plenty of tribal people
you hear
or
that?
random people in the village and shit that were gay, and everyone just went, yeah, that guy. He's just been like that, but no one has ever like crossed, passed story. Passed. What? This person's.
what is that called? Gay.
I think you're literally looking for like the first gay king or philosopher or something. I'm baffled by the question that you're like, people have been gay forever, always.
Dude, I didn't know this.
You know, there's animals that have been gay. So, I mean, gay has been around for millions of years.
Okay, hold on. I heard, I could be wrong. I don't know. Hold on, I want to like Google this real quick. I heard that Albert Einstein was gay.
I don't think so. I mean, he had a wife. Didn't they have a kid?
That was his cousin.
True. So did Edgar Allan Poe. A lot of people fucked their cousin back then.
Dude, I think Albert Einstein's gay. Okay, maybe I can't find no confirmation. I should have came prepared to this podcast.
You really jumped in this one like fucking head first with your eyes closed, like not even reading the sign of what you're jumping into. I feel like you showed up to the wrong party, like you're wearing a fucking banana outfit to a masquerade party. Like that's what you're fucking sounding like.
They go.
Like, okay, whales have been documented to be doing sexual coituses with each other and other mammals. I mean, if these animals have been doing it, then they must have had it evolved for millions of years. Millions.
I just like
there's no ways like global warming triggered.
They're making the freaking frogs gay.
I hope I did not just start a fucking theory that Republicans and conservatives would take off, evangelious people like.
But then they would have to believe in evolution.
I think they've learned their battles. Like, all right, here's the one thing that's kind of funny. Like, without trying to get too political, like I've noticed that the Conservative Party has had tried to dismiss evolution for the longest time.
Yeah, for a while.
And now at this point, it's like everyone's looking at everyone like, come on.
Like, yeah,
we have more than plenty.
It's not really like evolution. It's not that we came from monkeys, and I think that's
honestly the dumb man's response to it. That's like saying like,
eventually a monkey will just birth a human.
Well, that's like saying, I can't even level the amount of stupidity onto it.
No, but
like whenever your kid is born and it doesn't need its wisdom teeth removed, are you going to say, oh, that person's not a human being anymore?
I think it's because, like, also, you got to think about it. Religion constantly gets, like, fucking... I just feel bad for religious people sometimes because, like, they just want to believe, and then people are like, always like, this is why you shouldn't believe. And it's like, some people just really don't want to hear it. So they're like, no, that's not true. It's just a theory.
Religion has its places in society. It has definitely taken us places. It's definitely had its uses and sanctuaries and securities for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It has also done the exact opposite of everything I have said to the other side of people. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. And with that being said, people shouldn't villainize swords. It should just be, you shouldn't let anyone fucking wield a sword. It's not like a drunk guy who has no coordination or balance or regards for safety should be holding a weapon like that, or a child, or a power-hungry person. But an expert in swordsmanship should be able to hold it. It's just, we don't look at stuff of power with that type of regard or responsibility.
Oh, well.
And that's why everything comes to shit time to time.
And then there's some religious people that are gay.
Yeah.
Boom.
That have villainized gay people.
Oh.
That has happened before.
Oh, it has. Definitely has. 100%.
I'm trying to remember if there was, and now I'm thinking like pre-Byzantine, like pre-Roman, or no, it was probably during, I don't know. I just remember that there was this pope that I think that people like had rumored to be gay or something along the lines.
Yeah.
Because back then, like, I think popes of today compared to popes then are not the same. They probably follow the same type of, I don't know, like delegations towards their people or whatnot. But back then, everyone was like a Catholic everywhere. Like a pope 400 or 500 years ago was stronger than certain kings.
Oh yeah,
sure,
yeah,
and had their ways. And there's a lot of history of like one of the most evil people in the world were in that congregation. Like,
fuck yeah,
just because they knew of the power in there.
Damn.
But like I said, I mean, it.
You didn't even really like. See, that's the thing. It's not even religious. I just don't even. I feel like just having a whole hierarchy of like people isn't even religious.
Well,
just,
I mean, nonetheless, what it is, it's a focus group of belief, which I mean, isn't
easy.
bad,
It's
but
so
it
easy
can
to
be so. It can be so easily. Just think of any religion, any group. They have a group of people that they want to take shelter for, take care of, and do all good for. And then there is another group outside of that that is villainized, and that's almost seen in every religion, everywhere.
Yeah.
Of course, all of them have the same goal of obtaining world peace and unified, a unified world, but under a specific rule, and that's where nobody agrees on, and that's where shit gets all fucked up.
So, going from the topic of religion to another totally not controversial topic, what do you think about this Texas abortion ban? The abortion rules. You heard about this shit?
I have. It's sounds rough to be a woman over there.
Yeah, it sounds a little rough. Dude, I know exactly why they're doing it.
Why?
It's obvious.
What is it?
They're just tired of Californians moving in. That's it. It's the only reason.
They're just doubling down on the conservatism.
Yeah, it's just like they're just like, you know what? I feel like it's just a fucking scape, and they're probably gonna overturn it. I feel like because there's a lot of states that like don't even want to do business with them no more. And I just think that they're tired of California moving in, and they're really scared of the state flipping and shit.
I don't know. It just sounds like a pretty weird area to stick a thorn in to provoke people to coming from there. But I don't know who it is. See, the best thing in these types of conversations is to know specifically who's pushing this, what's their history, looking at their backgrounds like that to kind of see where they're coming from. Not to justify it, but to explain, oh yeah, he's like this because he's going for these votes from these people, or he is what possibly you're saying, or any of the above. I mean, usually, honestly, I feel like when these types of things come up, like abortions, pro-life, pro-war, what else is immigration, all of these topics usually start off with a very genuine, serious discussion. Like, you know, when should you determine when it, like, obviously I think it's pretty unified. Like, if you're fucking a week away from labor, an abortion should not be considered. I think that
is a thing though. That is considered.
It is considered.
It's legal in New York.
And the thing is, however, it's circumstantial. I mean, what if this birth will kill the mother?
The rarity of that shit, though.
It's not rare. I mean,
rarity.
It's not rare if you don't have the proper teachings.
I just feel like
go back 100 years. About 30% of all births were death.
30 years?
No, not 30. 300 years.
Oh,
30%.
Yeah. Well, those are totally different times. We're
totally different times, but now, yeah, we're talking
even a thing.
So, yeah, but we've had this discussion in previous podcasts before. 30% of America, of American women, so half of America, right, is what, 150 million? What's 30% of 150 million? We're still talking about millions of people you just disregarded with that statement. The number is still huge. There's still plenty of women that you would have, you know, a considerable situation to be dealing with that, you know, is worth mentioning.
Oh, I don't know. Fuck, dude, I don't know why this shit, but it's like loosey goosey.
But I mean, that's how some of these laws even come into play, is because of a very particular instance that happened. Like, look at the protests that happened because of George Floyd. He was not the one and only person to ever have that happen to him, but he was just the catalyst that tipped this domino over for a grand, you know, saga of protest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That could be the same thing. We witnessed this whole thing evolve, not because he was the first victim of police brutality. He just started a whole movement. And I feel like that could be the same thing for this. Now, going back to Texas thing, though, 6 weeks. I mean, what is even made in 6 weeks?
Dude, I don't even fucking...
What is even developed in 6 weeks?
That seems a little too unrealistic. I heard people don't even fucking... No, I don't know. See,
you literally have to, after having sex, you'd have to get yourself tested every single day to make sure you make that deadline. Yeah. Because you don't show symptoms of pregnancy. Like, you don't fuck someone and the next day wake up and be like, I feel pregnant. Like, that's not how it works.
You could still get your period. I think you. I don't know. I don't know too much about menstruation cycles in order to speak confidently.
And the thing is
yeah,
despite whatever you're saying, and despite what you don't know, there is instances of it still happening nonetheless. And there's been enough people, like I said, there's so many people that even if we're talking 5% of women in America, you're still talking about thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands. If America is like 300 million, we're only talking about females, that's 150 million. And I mean, okay, sure, if we want to get even more technical, those old enough to bear children, okay, maybe what, half of, which probably isn't even half, or I don't know, but let's just do half of 150 million. That's still what, 75 million. And if we want to even make that even more thin, see, like I've resorted it almost down to like what, like
60 million. I don't know.
That's like only about 30% would probably be somewhere around like I'd say like 60 to 15, depending on that window of people in that niche. But yeah, I mean, like that's why these laws come about, is because of these weird instances. And then someone looks at that and say, I can make money off of this, or I can get someone's campaign closed off because of this, because of X, Y, and Z. It's so weird how when you're listening to a politician talk, I mean, in my eyes, I can't help but look at how is he making this work for his schemes. Like, I get that there's noble reasons and causes in things. I mean, we've gotten so far in society because of it, but like there's been clearly enough examples to show how everything is being used to someone's advantage
all the time.
Like, do you have any idea of why they're ruling it to 6 weeks?
Do you know? Or because like I just know 6 weeks is pretty unfair, because a lot of people don't know that they're pregnant. Some people find out like 2 to 3 months in. I know someone who found out 6 months in, and they were still having their period.
So I think, I don't know if this is what they're thinking, but I think your heart can develop that young. I mean, hell, you got your system right there. You might as well Google what is developed after 6 weeks. I mean, you're still a zygote, I imagine. Like, you're not even a fetus.
I heard you're like a grain of rice. A fetus at 6 weeks. Was it about the type of month? So.
I think maybe some part of the brain and the heart is starting to develop, but it's not like.
This week, your baby is starting to look more like what a baby, your little one's head, is taking shape, while the cheeks, chin, and jaws are also beginning to form. In week 6 of pregnancy, you may be feeling well and truly pregnant too, thanks to symptoms like heartburn, nausea, and frequent urination. See, this is what it looks like. It looks like a lizard, like a.
But do we know what? So I imagine they're trying to base it off of what organs are setting in.
Like a seahorse. Damn, dude, look at that. It's fucking wild. I don't know if I can. I can't even show that. I don't know. Just Google 6 week fetuses. They're like wild. That's crazy. That
you just have to Google what organs are developed at that stage and see if
organs.
Yeah, because I imagine that they're thinking, oh, if it has a brain, it's alive. Or if it has a heart, it's alive. That's probably what they're trying to shoot for.
They think it's like straight fucking conception.
Well, I know there are some people out there who believe the moment the egg and the sperm meet is when life is. But
what organs do they have? The heart and other organs are starting to form, and no heart begins. And the heart begins to beat.
That's what it is.
Structures necessary to the formation of the eyes and the ears develop. Small buds appear that will soon become arms.
I imagine that is their big catalyst right there. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, the heart's starting to beat, thus it is alive. That is my blind, uneducated, unpolitician guess. Is the reason why someone in Texas is trying to push that.
Well, it's got a heartbeat.
It's like, well, so is this dead frog that I jumped up to this car battery. That's what's happening in this situation here, but it's just more on a biological. I mean, biological level.
I don't know.
The thing, though, that's funny is I feel like abortion laws in these types of states. Texas, to me, though, is, I don't know if I should say surprising. I just never thought that I'd hear something, from Texas like that. I thought it would be from like Mississippi or Alabama or whatever. But I feel like
it's because Texas is flipping blue pretty fucking quick right now.
Yeah.
And people are moving to Austin and Dallas and Houston.
Well, they're doing the whole big California exodus right now.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's trying to flee.
They're doing that. And that's a huge problem throughout the whole entire country. Well, I mean, if you consider it a problem. But I don't know. I feel kind of weird about it, though, too, because I kind of feel like, because see, it's like if you look at it politically, people that are typically moving into states and then changing them, okay? So it's kind of like colonizing. They're against colonizing, but they're into immigration. But immigration is colonizing. It's the same thing.
Colonizing is if you are actually taking it over. If you're just visiting as a tourist.
But you don't think that if a culture is already established somewhere and then a bunch of people from outside of it come in and just completely shit on it, and then it just basically like becomes non-existent anymore. Like, you don't think that that's an issue at all? That is like, I mean, that's, people would say that that's, what's it called? I forgot what the fucking word is called. When they do that shit in neighborhoods.
Gentrification.
I mean, gentrification is just a name for it. When a group of people do it. So like, what about like, another group of people that do it to like, just say like a typically conservative.
It's when you get more specific, like colonizing is gentrification is your own colony that you're revamping.
Yeah.
It's just, you can't call it colonies anymore just because we've gotten so populous and we're so niched. A city is not as united as you would think. There's districts where people say, fuck that district.
Yeah.
And then there's neighborhoods within that are like that. So I feel like gentrification is colonizing, your own area, but I wouldn't technically consider it colonizing, period.
I mean, we're not comparing it to like Christopher Columbus or anything like not like that type of colonizing, but like the idea of going into a place that already had a set culture and a way that people live, and then coming in there and then basically changing it. And like, I'm talking like you could do that politically in this country. Like, you could be from California and just be like, it's too expensive. And then you move over to Texas. And then it's like, dude, you got a bunch of Bible thumpers out there that are like, dude, we don't want abortion. Like, we made it fucking clear that we don't want that. And a vast majority of the state do not want that, like, as of like decades ago, And so then you have that along with they want their fucking guns, and they don't want like, a state's income tax to go to some sort of funding for something that they don't really believe in. So they have this set of political system and beliefs that are based off of like, religion and everything. And some ideas are based off of religion. Some ideas are based off of like just conservative values when it comes to like, monetary spending in your like city and whatnot, or your state. And then just a bunch of people come in over 10, 15 years and completely flip it, and now they're against like, and then they would change abortion rules, and then they would try to like, change the way that the state is, and then they want to limit your gun usage. They want to limit your access to certain things and everything, and they think it's for this like good, and it's like a bunch of new people coming into somewhere thinking that they know what's best for that local area, when in actuality where they came from, their ideas over time have created, San Francisco. It's created LA. And then you're moving over to Austin, and now a place like Austin has, over the past 10, 15 years, which has seen a huge rise in Democratic politics. Mm-hmm. And the homeless population is rising. Taxes are going up. The population is increasing like crazy. And so it just kind of like, for a group of people that typically are against colonizing and gentrification are the ones that also typically immigrate and change culture in a specific area and then talk shit on these values. And even though I disagree with some of these red state culture values and everything like that, I'm considering moving out of California, and I do want to move to a state, and the state is red, and I don't want to go in and I don't want to shit on the local politics. And I just kind of feel like, there's just a lack of respect for culture that just isn't yours. I can make the same exact suggestion with people that, don't like other type of liberal cultures, but it just sucks that there's just a disregard for other people's way of living. And I kind of feel like this swinging it back to the abortion ban. And sorry for not letting you talk. I'm taking up so much time. That's what the abortion ban is for. I know that's what the abortion ban is for. Is because they're sick and fucking tired of people from California moving into their state and just blowing it up. Okay, you can talk.
At the expense of their own women as well. But I mean, so at least you talked long enough to make me think long enough to even. Can I make
one more?
God damn! What is it?
It's just one more thing, and that's why it's so strict. Like the 6 weeks. Like, I mean, they could have made it something else, but 6 weeks. That's a statement. That's not a. That's a statement.
I'm pretty sure it was, what can we say as a good example to validate when a child is alive? And they're going to say when the heart starts beating. And the heart starts beating at 6 weeks, which is a pretty young age, because it's a rudimentary primary function that the body just needs to get ready for before the lights turn on. But anyways, what I was going to say is, so I'm pretty sure everyone that you're saying that's against colonizing is against colonizing, and ironically are doing the same thing. However, what makes it different from colonizing, which makes them ironically think that they're doing something different, is that colonizing is just coming in and taking over, simply said. They are trying to come over and convince or mock. It's a different form of tactic. It's the same outlook, but it's not executed the same. Yeah. Like, it's either I come in here and you do what I do now, or we're going to have some problems. That's like colonizing.
That's the same thing, though. That shit's still going on.
It is, but it's not like I'm going to... Yeah, they'll do protests and all that. It's not...
Of course.
It's just a different form of... It's being more accurate...
It's not protesting. It's rioting, dog. It's rioting.
So there is rioting and there is protesting.
When you got to put fucking boards up on windows to stores.
Well, also,
there's so
we have
many.
To also acknowledge the fact that no matter where you are and what point of view you have, no matter what it is, there is always going to be people of chaos to take advantage of it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Does not matter. That's just a new thing. You just got to learn to live with it. I don't care what your political views are. Yeah. There is someone that's going to be in that political views to be like, yeah, and fuck them and their fucking mothers and businesses.
But the thing is,
red and blue. It doesn't matter though.
it's defending those actions though, and both people do it at the same time, which fucking kills me. Where it's like, you know, you see people breaking in, and then it's like, well, what do you expect them to do? They're panicking, and it's like, dude, stop breaking shit. Like that's it.
You make it sound like it's so easy though,
dude. Can you leave?
Have you ever talked to customer service?
I've been to a protest.
Have you talked
before.
to one or two people once in a while, and you thought like, man, I could, if there was no laws, I could see myself knocking this fucker out.
Well,
when laws are stripped, you take advantage, and I'm not saying it as a defense.
No,
I'm saying it as a justification.
Stupid. I'm not a fucking animal though. Like, you know, like I'm just like, I'm not like, no, I'm not gonna stand there in the middle of like like, I know it's still not legal, dude.
You say it so bad, but you've also accepted the culture.
Well, okay,
you also appreciate the culture.
I'll give you
one
the
of your
benefit of the
songs
doubt.
that I know that you like is from Sublime 1982, April 16th, 1992.
Yeah.
That glorified riot nature. It actually explained why they do it, and I'm not justifying it. I'm explaining why
I'll
it just
give you
happens.
the benefit of the doubt. There's always a line. There's always a line,
and it doesn't matter whose side it is.
But,
and no matter who it's doing it, yes, there are a lot of dumb people. There are a lot of dumb people who do it. There's also a lot of educated people who do it too. I'm not saying again. I have to establish it because I know so many people will be like, "Whoa!" But we are human beings, and everyone's an opportunist. And what you don't see as an opportunity, someone will. And when the law breaks out, there's just no stopping people. And there's a difference between being a person and being part of people. Mob mentality is a real thing. Have you ever listened to a conversation and you're part of a team? Look at sports. Look at how animalistic people get. Oh, sure, sports is innocence. Yes, I understand. But that little part of your brain is still getting triggered. The same part of your brain that you're saying, oh, that's so dumb. Well, yeah, so are the people who throw money away.
Like that. I've never had an issue like that. I've never been like...
I've never been offended. Navigated it. Because you navigated it in a way that's okay. And plus, it's not like you're...
I guess I'm smart. No, I'm fucking serious, dude. Like, if someone said, dude, you like the Pittsburgh Steelers? They fucking suck. Nah, man. We got 6 rings. Kiss the 6, bro. Kiss the 6. Like, I'm not going to be like, there's people, like, I've literally, dude, one time I sat in this tattoo shop and this guy started talking about the Raiders, and he was kind of a thug. And he was like, dude, I won't respect anybody that won't like their local team because like they need to take care of their community and shit like that. So fuck you. If you ain't a Raiders, like and I was just like, okay, so I'm not going to fucking say anything cuz I don't want to get into an altercation with this guy. But there's I guess I'm smarter than him. Like, I guess literally I can contain myself in a conversation.
It's because it's a subject that doesn't matter that much to you.
No, there isn't a single subject that you could get, like, I mean, you know, as a, we're just, you know,
first off,
lighthearted right now. So
there's also riots and protests that are talking about discussions that you have absolutely no way to empathize with either. So you can only
empathize?
That you can only talk about theoretically. When it comes to abortion, you can't talk as passionately as a woman who was a victim of rape that was denied this.
Well, also,
and I can understand her going ballistic.
People aren't breaking into businesses because an abortion ban went into effect.
I don't know if you could say that up close confidently.
I don't think I can, but like,
you are.
You would know. Fox News would definitely tell you. If somebody threw a brick into a fucking...
There's been plenty... No, well, hold on. There's been plenty, Chris, there's been plenty of people throwing shit at abortion clinics.
I think violent
Have
actions.
you ever seen abortion clinics where there's a protest of people throwing shit at women trying to get into the building? It exists.
Damn, why did you leave your phone on? It's okay. I keep shutting my phone off. I'm ready to get my phone my phone to fire up with a phone call. Dude, okay, so I left my phone at home yesterday for like 6 hours. I came back, not a single text message. Didn't even get nothing on Instagram. I got absolutely nothing, dude.
Probably felt good.
Nobody loved me.
Probably feels good.
It felt good leaving it. I was leaving with my girlfriend. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave this here. And she was. I kind of regret leaving it too because we needed directions and shit. We had to Google a bunch of stuff, and so we were just like passing the phone back and forth. But, yeah, no, I don't know.
That's
Anyway.
another thing. Is the phone is.
I think
A lot of this stuff- a lot
agitates a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's one thing to talk about something that you believe in and all that, right? But it's another to say it on a public forum, and then someone says something that either that you don't believe, but at the same time got you.
Dude,
Like
it's fucking-
something that you don't believe in. They said a point you can't refute, and now you're sitting there overnight, fucking brooding. Like, God damn, like that happens to people as well. I don't believe protesting in America was this potent back then.
No, that's a good point.
So definitely social media has contributed to this because everyone's provoking each other fucking cross country.
I think it's the fastest way to share information, and I think
/
like
opinion.
And false information, but I feel like it's very easy nowadays. That's the reason why it's so seen as divided, is because information is passed on, or fake information is passed on so quickly and so efficiently that it's easier to pick a side and stick with it.
Well, definitely people love to be in echo chambers because
Oh, definitely.
with the share of information, it's actually easier to reinforce yourself.
Yeah.
I don't think if you were back in the 50s and 60s and you had a very controversial opinion, it'd be that easy to find an answers on both sides without being at a protest, like being in the heat of battle. Like protests are now started because of social media, meet up at this place at this time. Back then, sure, they were kind of met in secret in rooms and halls, like, hey, we all got to get together and do this or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was more like, hey, more, it had a more, specific trigger or whatnot. Now today, I can set up a protest. A non-political person can completely set up anarchy, chaos, and a revolution. All three of those things, all online without even actually having to go anywhere. So, I mean, like, there's a lot of things that have changed within our own lifetime that we need to put in consideration. And
we don't think about.
Yeah.
I think a lot of years ago, probably when our parents were growing up and they were our age, the innovations came from technologies and stuff. And I think now it's coming from software and systems that are populating this internet that gets more and more efficient every single year, but more and more creatively vast. And we have like these ecosystems that exist online. And if you were to just completely wipe, dude, imagine if Facebook was like, you know what? If Mark Zuckerberg was like, just popped it. Just said, you know what? I played all of you guys for 20 years or for 30 years, whatever. This was a social experiment and you all fucking failed. And just killed Instagram and Facebook. And then people scrambled to get.
that'd be pretty wild, to be
Dude,
honest.
you know what?
It'd be actually worth listening as a book or, some type of story of some sort, because you would see so many people who had a very, very signified place of their identity taken away.
Oh, yeah. Their business.
Well, definitely their business,
dude. People would go broke.
That's the first most important thing for why he can't do it. Why what you're saying is impossible. Like, it had to dissolve. It couldn't be.
Fuck it, dude.
It couldn't be unplugged.
How chaotic would that be?
The company would have to dissolve itself.
I'd be so pissed. I'd probably go to Facebook. I'd probably throw a brick in their window, dog.
But
fuck it. This is the line.
But the more important thing to look at it, I mean, not important, interesting thing to look at is just the people who actually have purely made the identity solely through online.
Oh,
and
dude,
it's just some of those things that you would see a very drastic.
I think some people's livelihood. I'm talking like, what about a streamer? Like, what if Twitch ended out of nowhere, or even Facebook? There's people that are making a living off of Facebook gaming. So it's like, if you cut all of that shit, dude, there would be people on unemployment would go up like crazy.
I'm think smaller.
Fucking crash.
You're thinking of businesses and all that, which yes is important, but that's not the root of the main chaos. I'm
Really?
saying the
You don't think
Karen.
so?
No, I'm saying just the Karen who's the anti-vaxxer person. They lost their outlet. I'm talking to the people who are only with their group of online communities that they can only find online. That's the people that I'm talking about. That's interesting to hear about.
Always exists though on other websites. I was just talking about one website.
Sure, but that one website has damn near monopolized it. And now everyone has to find smaller groups. It's not going to be the same group. It's going to be broken up and all that. But
Google's going to make it a difficult time for you to find an anti-vax group. Fuck yeah, they will.
It's not just those people, but that was just a good example. But I mean, like, that's just, a lot of groups, people. There's just a lot of things online that people have developed their own identity on that only exist online.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about just gamers. I'm talking about like where you go chat forums. So if like, if we want to go really back in the day, like anime chat forums and shit like that, like there's people who only knew people from that area to talk about anime because no one around them knew that.
No, yeah.
Facebook has all of it, all of those identities, all of those forums and all of those.
Locally, it's so easy for me to find musicians in Sacramento. So easy, dude. I just said Sacramento guitar, hashtag, boom. Just anybody who's like on their grind, that hashtag that shit. And I can be like, yo, what's up? You want this? You want the last Capri Sun? I was gonna drink it, but
you don't want your Capri Sun?
Well, I'm drinking coffee right now. I'm taking this coffee.
Capri Sun is a weird combination. I'll take your fucking Capri Sun.
The Capri Sun's pretty good.
Makes me feel like a kid again.
Yeah, it makes me feel like a little girl again. Damn, you do it like that? You just bent the fucking straw. Dude, okay, did you hear about this shit? So, do you know what's going on with the fucking, like, airlines and shit? I'm, like, going on airplanes right now, I'm about to go on an airplane, and I feel like airplanes are in the news more than ever right now. But they're, like, people have been freaking out more on airplanes and shit.
About 1,300% increase in airplane violence.
Jesus fucking Christ. I didn't even know the statistic. Here's this one video right here. I won't show the video on screen or anything, but dude, listen to this.
Now, you can't hold us.
Oh yeah, the dude who's snarling. Yeah, I've
already. You've already. Hold on, I gotta.
I've seen too much
dude,
already.
Right here.
That man got back to see his seat.
Here we go.
Things got even more bizarre.
That's fucking not normal, dog. It looked like Brett Favre. I know you probably don't know who Brett Favre looks like, but
he retired like 2-3 years ago, right?
A lot longer than that, actually. It feels like 2-3 years ago, but it was like probably a decade ago. I don't know, 2012, 2013, something like that.
Damn,
something like that. I don't know. Yeah. But no, dude, that's fucking. You know what? When I go on my trip, I hope it fucking happens. I hope my flight gets on the news so I could be like.
That's saying I hope I get a layover though, or I get my flight delayed.
I don't give a fuck, bro. This is the chillest vacation we're gonna go on. We're just visiting family, so it's not like. We're just gonna be like, oh my gosh, somebody freaked the fuck out on the airplane. Oh my goodness. Are you guys okay? But like, dude, imagine if I was the one that fucking some dude and I'm just like sitting there filming it and I post it and I blow up. And then that's how I blow.
But it's not you who's blowing up. It's that person on the film. Since when is the cameraman getting?
I could do a reaction video of the video that I shot. Boom!
How come I haven't seen that before?
I don't know. That's why it's a good idea. A good idea isn't a good idea because everybody thinks of a good idea. A good idea is a good idea because nobody else thought of that shit. Stay woke.
God, I hate that. I hate that saying so much.
Stay woke, kings. Stay woke.
It has become the most unironic staying.
You know, when I was in like when it was like 2013, 2014, and I would hear people talking and shit, I'd be like, man, that guy's so fucking woke. That guy is woke as fuck. And I was like, man, I wish I could be woke.
It used to
I wish
be
I could be woke as fuck.
I think it used to be a pretty endearing word.
Oh yeah,
when
definitely.
it first started. But even back then, when I first heard it, I was like, you hear what you're... That's so past tense awake. Like, I get, like, it's slang, and you're and it's to be cool. Way for me to sound like a fucking old boomer right now, but, I mean, just it's just...
Honestly, I thought you were hating it for a different reason. I thought you were hating it just because
I
it's
hate
overused
it even
now.
more now.
Oh, okay.
When it started, though,
dude,
I thought,
it
okay,
wasn't-
yeah, thanks for calling me woke, but also don't call me that again because that sounds fucking stupid.
No. It wasn't stupid back in the day. It wasn't stupid a decade ago. Absolutely not.
To everyone. It was for me because it was the most dumbest way of saying, you know, you're kind of smart or enlightened or whatever. No, some fucking TikTok fuckhead had to say, hey, bro, you hella woke, bro. And some people were like, hey, that's a cool way of saying you're smart.
No, I think it came about because just when conservatives like this is what conservatives will
This
do.
took a turn.
Okay. Conservative, because you know woke people are typically liberal. So what happens is conservatives, what they'll do is they'll take your label and turn it into an insult. And what I mean by that is like people were liberal and people would announce that they're liberal back in the 1950s and shit like that, and they wanted this and they wanted that, and then conservative politicians were like liberals. And then like it was what was it? George H.W. Bush was the first person like on a speech or like on a direct talk to use liberals as a
Those liberals.
Like, yeah, I forgot what, like, he used it in a demeaning way. Like, he was like, liberals, like, and he just, like, changed the meaning of it. And I feel like
He used it as a derogatory word.
That's the same thing that happened to the word woke, was like, oh, he's woke, you know? And I just feel like the word got oversaturated, and then it flipped
That could be,
into-
but I don't believe that's the entire reason. No, it became unironic. You see, the thing is
yeah. Because now everyone's woke. Then you're not woke.
Well,
you're not above everybody. So I think
that's not. That's not it. That's not it. No.
Maybe I got it wrong then.
The reason
I'm fucking stupid,
no,
bro.
what it is.
I'm not woke.
Okay, people. When you start like really like pushing, like what's the hold on. Now I gotta really think of what is a good example of it, because like okay, a liberal place, right? Like Seattle.
Okay.
Or no, I'm sorry, Portland.
Okay. Either one.
Letting all drugs be
I think that's
perfectly
Portland.
legal.
Yeah,
Portland.
Portland.
Is that woke?
I don't. No. Well,
They're doing it in the terms of being woke.
Now I can't even talk about this because I don't really understand the question.
Well, okay. Being woke, right, is in term of being enlightened or being, right?
Yes.
The reason why it's becoming unironic is because people believe in certain things as being enlightened when in reality it's fucking backhanded retarded. Like legalizing heroin. They're doing it because they think that is the smarter thing to do. That's a woke endearment that they're trying to imply. Mm-hmm. Is that woke?
I don't know. Yeah.
It's always about crossing a line and
what is woke? Now I don't know what woke is. I thought woke is being like aware of social issues.
But not entirely.
Like knowing
That's
where
not, at
they
least
come
for
from.
me.
Or maybe I'm fucking
With
wrong
me,
about it. But.
woke originally was meaning you're just enlightened, you're wise, you're smart, you're not sleeping.
Okay, yes. On a specific topic, and it typically derives from social issues like, and most primarily like,
I think that's just
racism,
people splitting hairs.
Sexism. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. If you really want to like get down to the nitty gritty,
that's you're now actually portraying
but just
what a conservative Republican is saying of woke.
Yeah,
you're portraying the red version's definition of woke.
But like, just because you can make a kick-ass omelet doesn't mean you're woke. Just because you're really smart at like something doesn't mean you're woke.
Not intelligent. I'm not saying pure intelligence. I'm not saying, oh, dude, that dude knows fucking calculus. He's woke as fuck. No, there's a difference between being smart and being wise, enlightened.
Yeah. Okay.
Being someone who can actually give good relationship advice, someone who could tell you how to get out of an addiction. That's not being smart. That's just being able to understand the things that are going on in life and how to take it in stride. That's what I was originally taught of being woke. It's literally in my book, the definition woke is
just
the equal sign enlightenment. That's all what woke is.
It's street smarts. That's what it is.
But no,
smarts.
It's just people take words and construe them over time like every other word that ever exists.
It just got bent out of shape, It was just a little thing that just got too bent. It was like a wheel on a bike that just...
It's just a word part of the English language, which is a word that had a definition that got twisted by a group of idiots. That's what happened.
That has happened a lot in this country, in this language.
Yeah.
There's like a bunch of other...
Literally a fiction of speech now.
Don't even get me started on that word.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
Literally
about
the
what
worst word in our language. Literally. It's literally the worst word in our language.
Because you just used it both incorrectly and correctly, which is both correctly now at this time.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what happened to woke. That's what happened to all these words. It first started off as probably a bunch of people in liberal areas because that's where cities are, where a bunch of cool kids like, hey, I use cool new words. Hey, see that person? He did that skateboard trick. Yeah, he's woke because he's fucking cool and shit. And then a bunch of people's like, hey, I like that word. I'm going to start saying it. And then it starts spreading to a bunch of other people.
I own this city.
And so, and it just came to the point where everyone in that town started saying it. And then someone went to another town and started saying it. But the thing is, it was a game of telephone throughout that travel, and woke meant different things to different people along the way. And that's now why it's become the fucking dumbest weird word of endearment that I've been called time to time.
What, woke?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
to be woke is to be, hey,
that's pretty woke.
I'm going to point myself out of what kind of a person I am.
That's pretty woke that you mentioned that, though. And you're just like aware of being known and labeled as woke. And you don't want to be labeled as woke because you don't trust the word anymore and its meaning. To me, dude, that sounds pretty woke.
It sounds pretty stupid.
Dude, okay, so here, the last story before we get out of here, this has nothing to do with anything that we've been talking about. So do you know what this music festival is called? What is it called? There's this Elements Festival Have you heard of that? Elements Festival is a 3-day music festival with big names in DJ lands, like with Diplo and Bonobo and Xris and Chris Lake, and it's in Wayne County, Pennsylvania.
Damn, that's far.
Yeah. So, apparently, see, this is the problem that we have. Millennials, and I'm gonna say Gen X now. They're old, or Gen Z. They're old enough, dude. We gotta stop. We gotta stop dropping $600 for 3-day concert tickets when we can barely fucking afford rent, dog. This is a fucking crisis. I'm like, I haven't even got to the issue. You don't even know. I know you don't know about this story, but like, this is just what I'm saying, and then this is why I'll tell you later why this is a funny story. But the PSA is millennials and Gen Zers gotta stop dropping a month's worth of income for them on these fucking concert tickets when they're living with their parents, when they can't even eat right, when they gotta, grocery shopping to them means they gotta throw a brick through the window and make out with a bag of edamame, and some fucking Takis. And so this is what's funny about it though, is that the festival was a complete fucking failure. It like there was no food, there was no water, there was none of that shit. There was nothing. I
love a good festival disaster story.
Dude, you know about Fire Festival?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay, so this is Fire Festival 2.0. That's what they're calling it.
Really?
Which is like just you can't get any more fucked up than flying people to a fucking island.
Yeah.
Like that's the worst. But like, taking them out into the middle of nowhere and being like, we don't got nothing, dog. Like, dude, that's rough. And it costs millions of dollars to throw these fucking festivals. And just people, like, they'll just see a bunch of names on the fucking thing and then just be like, yo, it's gotta be legit. And they fucking go without doing any research on the place or anything like that. They do not know. Dude, people pull up to Coachella all the time and are just fucking dehydrated and shit. 'Cause they just, they're just like, they're fucking stupid, dude. And I just like, it just pains me when I see 20-something-year-olds and young 30-year-olds who like are actively in issues that they are trying to deal with, all the while really like fucking pinching their pockets in order to get these concert tickets to be there for 3 days. And it's not even fucking fun. Like
I'm not going to have sympathy for someone who can't manage their money well, but for someone who can manage their money and show up to this and be fucked over, that's who I feel sorry for. If you're wasting your money on something you can hear in the stereo, then I'm not going to fucking shed a tear for you. Like, there's enough problems to worry about enough as it is. Yeah, and you being a music person, I could probably understand how you can have sympathies for those people. But me not being a music people, I could just say, fucking who cares what that little boy or girl did with her paychecks she wasted making money off of fucking Dutch Bros. Like, at that point, whatever. But for the guy who spent 3 months in advance telling his boss, hey, I'm gonna take the week off to go to this concert because I've heard of some people, that's where the shame comes into. And doing the research thing, it sucks that you got to now, because nowadays we could spread information so quickly, false or real. Because back then, when I heard you say that statement, I thought it was funny because if I remember correctly, wasn't Woodstock a complete spontaneous, unprofessional thing that just became one of the biggest musical events of all history?
Success. It was
so.
A success.
There is examples to prove why people should take those types of random jumps.
Rules were very different back then. People.
Nonetheless, it was still something that people spontaneously just jumped into, and it was the biggest fucking success we've ever seen.
Yeah.
but now, yeah, it just happens more than ever. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It just happens more than ever.
Well,
and as you were falling back on, there are people who I know people who have gone to 3-4 music festivals within this year, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, isn't this fucking country already going down into the drain? How are there even festivals to begin with, and they're gone to X amount? It's like, I understand if you appreciate music culture and that's a part of your life, then you should definitely take it with stride. It's
Have you
just
seen-
there's
see-
if you're willing to handle that cost, that's fine, but you can't struggle in that and look at it as like, why is this happening to me?
So I don't do music festivals too hard anymore. I've been to a couple music festivals.
I remember you've had your phases, but that was beforehand.
But like, you got to go to experience it. It's a great experience, but some of the toxic, when you get that many young people together with complete disregard, like, okay, listen, first off, here's the rules. We already know that I'm not going to get this close to your face. Because right now, like, that would be like a little like, are you challenging me? Like, I'm a little uncomfortable. I don't know what
You're
you
in
have.
my space.
You're in my space. Okay. At a festival, that's not a fuking rule.
Well,
you are literally
there's just too many people to even have that thing.
Dude, you are literally like this table fits 6 people.
Yeah.
Like, imagine just, woo! Woo! Like, dude, it's so, and like, people fall. Like, sometimes people, like, they'll slip, especially like smaller people, skinnier people,
Yeah.
or like shorter people. They'll fall or something happens to them, and fuck, dude, they get trampled, and it's so hard to get them back up, and it's totally like not a safe environment. Not only that, but like, you're in the front for hours. You get there at like 4, 5, 6 o'clock, and you got to stay there till 11 because you want to experience your favorite artist and shit like that. Okay,
You got to be there the whole time because there's no way you're gonna fish your way back.
you're not gonna fish your way back. Now there's two strategies. There's the be hydrated and risk having to go pee, or do not drink at all
And risk dehydration.
and risk dehydration. And people will always pick the latter for some reason. And then there's a couple of people that pick the first, but they will pee in water bottles and shit like that. So you got to deal with people. I've seen it before where people dude, it's a fucking trek to get to the bathroom at these festivals. There's not like a bathroom at every stairway like there is in arena shows. So like, you got to fucking fight through the crowd, and then once you get out, you gotta walk like it's like a quarter mile, like from where you originally were. And then when you go back, you're never gonna get the same spot. There's always going to be more people there, and then it's just always
the
gonna
moment
get
you
dense.
move, the crowd is just gonna react to that space
Now,
like
a
a vacuum.
I will say, it's easy to get out of the crowd.
Yeah.
It's easy to give up your space to someone for them to be closer. Now, getting back in, it's very difficult. It is very fucking difficult. And that's why I just like, I'm not really into shows anymore. I just like sit down at show. I mean, like, I'll stand up, but I mean, like, I'm not really into.
You're not
like,
going into the crowd.
which is a shame because I'm 6'7". I got the body build to be in those fucking things and not even worry about it. Oh, dude, and thank God I'm fucking tall, because dude, if you're small, like, even your height, and you're pretty tall. You're
5'9", average height.
your average height, but you're kind of in the level. Okay, so one time I went with this girl. Okay, she was my friend, and considerably shorter. So I got a great view. I was like, oh man, wow, what's it like for you? Let me see this down here, dude. You sink down 6 inches.
You just see head, shoulders, and
well,
head.
not only that, you see the stage, but you see like heads covering the bottom, so you can see like past, like up their knees, maybe sometimes to their waist if you're really short. But dude, when you sink down to a certain level, it smells so goddamn rancid. It smells so fucking bad when everybody is sweating, when it's getting to midday and people are crammed in there like sardines, and you get down to that level, which is about like, you know, tall people's armpits to people's sweaty fucking heads to just people breathing up and shit like that. And then it creates this like pocket of warmth. And like my head peaks right over it. And like so I got the body build for it, but fuck, dude, it's not a good experience at all. And I don't know how people fucking do it. And it's not even a youth thing. I went when I was 22 years old to my first music festival, and I experienced that shit, and I was like, I'm getting the fuck out. And so I just picnicked in the back. I just picnicked like a while away from the stage. You could still see the stage. If you get there early enough, you can pick a spot and you can be chilling there until like the second to last act. Then you got to stand for the rest of the time because there's that many people that come there.
Yeah.
But like, you know, you're still chilling. But like once you get to like, I can't even put a number to it. But you know, there's a certain point where it's just like there's no personal space at all. But it's funny because, you know, the more closer you get, the harder it is to get through.
Yeah.
So it's very weird how it developed when you're making your way out of it. It's very weird how it develops into a normal crowd.
Yeah.
Where like everybody's like respecting each other's personal space. Everyone's willing to move out of the way for you and shit. But no, I don't know. But just music festivals, dude. It's just fucking like, dude, it's such a it's so dumb that young people do this shit.
I'm just surprised that with how the pandemic has been affecting everything so crazily. I'm pretty sure, I haven't gone to a music festival since, but I'm pretty sure if you go, there's no difference in...
I don't think so. I haven't gone to a music festival.
No one's fucking looking at each other like, don't come any closer to me or anything. Everyone's just getting shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck because they think, you know, I don't know if it's because they think they're vaccinated or they don't give a shit, or if they just, you know, a lot of people, like, people will put themselves in danger just to see this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, it's so bizarre to me. And it's so weird that I like performing in front of it. I don't know. But, I don't know. The other thing that I was going to point out is just like the money aspect of it. And like concerts are just getting so fucking expensive. My favorite band, the Foo Fighters, is coming to Sacramento. They're coming to the Golden One. Dude, nosebleeds. The cheapest tickets. I'm talking nosebleeds, shit section. Not nosebleeds. Hey, we got a direct fucking path. Like, no, it's nosebleeds, awkward angle, $250.
Fuck.
And that's like, here's me, and the band is performing this way towards you, and they're like right here. So it's like you kind of don't even see, you see more of the back than the front.
Mm-hmm.
And it's $250 for a night for 3 bands, probably 2 opening acts and then them.
And watch them from a distance.
They play a long time though. I've been to a few Foo Fighters concerts and they play for like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So you do get some time with them. But damn, dude, it's just so much fucking money. It's so much money. It's wild.
It's what that stadium wants.
Shit, dude. Fucking just concerts are expensive. That's why local shows are better now. It's just like $10, get the lightly drink. You know, the worst part about it is that there's just nowhere to sit. That's it. It's the only thing. In some venues.
Yeah, it's just it's definitely a thing you got to pick your battles for. Like,
Yeah.
There's some people who are big music heads who have their favorite artists from different genres that it would be for different concerts and stuff. But I mean, a concert's damn near a vacation. The price of a vacation.
Yeah, and that's why I don't go to many anymore.
Yeah, I mean, for the price of a weekend of seeing your favorite band live for about, a couple of hours is the same price of you traveling certain areas of the world.
For like 4 days.
Yeah, and I mean, like, sure, you will come out with like an experience of witnessing a bit of culture that you were only hearing in a certain medium. But on the other hand, you could witness an entire culture.
Not only that, but like we're just thinking about the ticket prices. There's
concession,
food,
there's gas.
Yeah, there's gas, lodging. There's all of this shit. And it's just, you're better off just like going to like Tahoe for the weekend or something like that. You know, like I feel like you get a better experience with your friends and shit like that. You know, it's just, oh, dude.
Then again, I mean, like also, and to be devil's advocate, there's probably some people who have taste in music that none of their friends have, and the only way they can enjoy this music with other people is with random strangers. And when I went to Aftershock, I went with about 4 or 5 different people. I think I described this story already. But I mean, like, yeah, I went with 4 or 5 other people, and we were all like super excited to see System of a Down.
Yeah.
And just over the course of the entire concert, from various different artists playing, and just all of us having our own thing going on, like it was like basically an anthology episode where all of us had an adventure that was separate from each other.
Yeah.
And we all eventually split up. By the time System of a Down came on, I was with nobody. None of the people I went with. And same for them. We've all separated ourselves. But the moment System of a Down came on, we looked at the closest person next to us and we started screaming the lyrics at each other's faces. And it was just that. Like, instantly, you're sharing an experience with other people. So, I mean, there are some people out there who can't experience that with other people that they know of.
There's healthy ways of doing it, though. I
guess,
cramming a short person in that fucking shark pit.
Well,
isn't the best.
Well, no, that's the thing. There's a difference of actually going to the concert and seeing your favorite artist. There's another when you're getting in a fucking fucking mortal dance off with someone in a fucking pit. Like, it's just at the same, like, you know, it's not like you have to go to a concert and immediately go to the nosebleeds. I mean, sure, you'd want to, but I mean, like, that is the cost you're going to have to consider. And people who have fun don't really take risk reward assessments are a very dynamic situation with people.
Yeah.
If you're sitting at home, bored out of your fucking mind, your risk to reward is going to be completely different than when you're in the heat of a fucking your favorite song in the middle of a music concert. You're not going to be thinking the same action and consequence difference. It's that's where things get muddied up. But that's, you know, that's the thing I wish a lot of people had. It's something I wish more people said was that they wished more out of. People say, I wish people were just bad or smarter or whatever. I think the real thing is I wish people were more self-aware of what they're doing at the time of, because there's a time and place to think a certain way, and there's no like clear-cut answer of you should act like this then. It's more like you should act like this
it's a place
during this place if this is happening.
It's a place where it's really normal to go, like,
yeah,
you know,
and that's the thing. That's the thing. When everyone's doing that,
I'm fucking
it's not like,
horny. Like,
it's not like anyone's doing. Oh, there's someone that fell. Everyone, can we stop? Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was stepping on someone's fucking face. That, you know,
sometimes like that, but not really.
see, again, you're. There's a difference between thinking like an individual and thinking as part of a group.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to stress. Mob mentality is a real psychological phenomenon.
Yeah.
And if everyone's going,
it does feel way more turnt. It's way more turnt when people are turnt.
If you were witnessing your favorite band right by yourself, right? It's just you and the Foo Fighters. Are you gonna be just? There's no one else. There's no crowd. It's just you.
I'd be sitting down smoking weed the whole time.
Yeah, if there's maybe 4 of you, you'd probably be like, dude, this is sick. This is sick.
Okay, yeah, put a whole stadium in there.
10 people, you know, you're gonna go fucking buck wild. It's the difference of being, it's just the difference of socialized settings.
That's why when next time I throw a show, I'm gonna pay people to just go bonkers. Just paid actors to just go ape shit.
Just have a few.
Just, I'll pay you $20
When this
$20 to
when
just
this
go-
course drops, I
You
want
see,
you to start going.
learn these songs.
And when
learn
you hear
the-
that they're starting, like, get fucking buck wild.
Yeah. And just fucking go for it. And then that's how we convince people. That's, I had a plan where I would perform and then I would invite people who like sold Molly to the shows so that they could sell Molly at the show. I sound a lot better if you're on Molly, bro. Trust me. Anybody sounds better when you're on Molly.
Yeah, it's
Well,
when you're at a show. Then again, when you're at any like some convention that you are very, very passionate about, you're gonna act a little bit different. Whether it's more of your true self or not,
Well,
you're
that's
not.
how it is.
You're not gonna be walking in there like, this is a very interesting place. I can see why I spent the money that I did here. I actually do enjoy the cost that I did. Like it, you're not gonna be inner monologuing.
that's the monologue.
Yeah. This is fucking cool. So I mean, it's hard to put a clarification on that when it's just hard to really say how can everyone just be, considerate of others when they're so fucking
Should be like fucking.
they're so short circuited right there and then and there.
Yeah. Well, I think
That's why I said originally I wish people were more self-aware.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying that now, right? And I'm saying that knowing myself that I need to become more self-aware. I shouldn't be talking like a hypocrite. That's why once in a while in almost any conversation I'm having, I try to have a little like self-click go off to be like, what am I saying? Why am I saying it? And there's a few times that like
I don't have that.
There's a few times I've came off and said to myself, "Oh fuck, I think I'm actually digging a hole." And I'll try to get out. There's other times I'm like, "You know what, guy? You're fucking right. Go in double hard." And
double hard.
It's just like it's yeah, double hard.
Double, bro. I'm hard. I'm double hard.
I have two of them and they're hard.
Iguana hard, bro.
But I mean, like, I wonder how often people have that type of mental tick in the middle of a fucking debate. Whether that's
Hey, you know what?
Whether
that's probably
that's-
why people throw bricks through fucking windows, dog.
I mean, it's why no matter what discussion you're talking about, if it's political, if the discussion goes long enough, it will dissolve into anger. Like no matter what, unless it's two individuals that can do what I said, who can eventually click and go, okay, either he's going too far or I'm going too far, and maybe I should just stop instead of trying to convince them.
Yeah.
Like there's people who, that's another thing too. It's not like, to catch myself, but it's to be like, there's got to be times you got to realize when you're arguing with someone, okay, I'm realizing now, no matter what I'm going to say, I'm not going to win them.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how right I am or whatever. I should learn to pull out.
But that's
and there's people who can't.
People think that people take that as like they're ignorant and they're not going to listen to me, so I'm going to just get mad at them because they're not, and that'll get them. I don't know.
So yeah, but I'm saying it should be essential for people to go like, you know what? They're just not.
They're not.
Why
gonna
Why am I doing this?
Why?
Why am I?
Because
why am I getting sweaty hands?
My pride is in this now.
Why am I getting
'Cause
sweaty hands trying to type this message?
No. I've made this my identity to believe in this shit, and the fact that you won't believe in it means that you're neglecting me. Don't worry. I'm not neglecting you, even though I'm not returning the favor. I'm just that's how it is.
Yeah, that's someone
how it is.
Who isn't self-aware. That's not someone self-checking themselves. That's someone who has a belief and running it off the cliff.
Oh well.
Because there's time, I feel like
What
honestly,
are you gonna do about it, guy?
nothing.
What
And
are you
that's-
gonna do about
That's
it?
the beauty of it.
That's
Is
the
you
beauty of
don't
it.
do nothing.
You just let it go. You just
If you try to do something, you're gonna be part of the problem. when it comes to pushing someone's opinions and ideas. If I really believe what I believe, then I will just let you do whatever the fuck you're doing, whether it's right or wrong. And the only way how it would work is if enough people see what side works better for both themselves and for getting the point across, and it'll never get better. I mean, that's just human nature. But it's not about changing human nature when it comes to certain things like that. Like, there's just some battles, like I said, there's one thing about changing a law and being the fucking Joan of Arc of your era. There's another thing when it's talking to some fucking random idiot online. Like, you know what I mean? There's some things that matter and some things that shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter that you convince this person on Reddit why you're right, or why you convince your aunt on Facebook why they're wrong. But it's different if it's like why this fucking person is treating this person in front of you incorrectly or something along the lines. It's something people need to be aware of. You can't change everything.
Oh, well, dude. Fuck it. We're also running out of time. It's about time we wrap this bitch up.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So, well, catch you guys next time. We're going to go out. We're going to go throw some bricks in some buildings.
I'm going to go share my ideas with people and tell them that they're stupid if they don't believe it.
Yes, that's because we're American. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Peace out. Peace.